Okay, good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? Holiday effect, huh? I know. Yeah. Good morning, online. Yeah, I'm doing good. Thanks for asking, Reshmi. Okay. All right. So let's jump on. So, what did we discuss in our last class? S3, correct? Quick shootout round. So, what is the full form of S3? Simple storage service. And S3 is limited storage or unlimited storage? Unlimited storage. In S3, what do we create? What does the bucket contains? What is the name of the object? Key. And buckets, S3 is global or regional? Buckets are regional. Okay. And bucket names should be universal. Okay. So just a quick information that you have got. So tomorrow is holiday on the occasion of Independence Day. So I advancedly I wish you happy Independence Day. Right. And thank you. Thank you. Okay. So enjoy. Right. So today also I think a lot of people took holiday also. I can see offline. There are a few chairs are empty. Okay. All right. Good. No problem. So yeah. I was talking something, right? S3. S3 bucket names are universal. So hey, holiday for me also, right? Okay. I'm happy now. Yeah, I don't like to take holidays at all. So I like to teach all the time. But yeah, I'll be missing you tomorrow. Huh? I'll be missing you guys. Thank you. Okay. So by default, the buckets are public or private? By default, it is private. Okay. So how many buckets you can create in your account? 100 buckets. So is it hard limit or soft limit? Do you understand what is soft limit? So anytime we can go and increase it. And then S3 supports what model? WORM model. What model? What is the full form of WORM? Write once, read many. Write once, read many. And then we discuss about the versioning, correct? We discuss about the versioning. So versioning meaning, can we say versioning is like a backup tool? Yes. So by default, versioning is enabled? No, by default, it's not. So versioning is enabled on the bucket level or object level? Bucket level, but applied on object level. And okay. So if you delete the object, so what marker is created? Delete marker is created. So how do you restore it back? Delete the delete marker and restore it back. Good. So can you suspend the versioning? Yes. Can you disable the versioning? No. Oh, very good. Okay. So once you, is it possible to download the versioning files? Yes, but is it possible to download the delete marker? No, not possible. Okay. So after suspending, do you expect any versionings? No. But after suspending, before the objects were uploaded, at the time of versioning was enabled, correct? For them, the versioning does have any effect? No effect. So there is no impact on it. Okay. And then what, what is the minimum object size? 0, 0 bytes. So what is the maximum object size? 5 terabyte. Okay. Which one, Nana? Sheshadri, which one you didn't understood? Which concept? Repeat that once. Which one? What did I say? The version files. So after suspending, correct? Okay, let's say for example, file 1, file 2. Let's say you created a bucket first. Okay, you created a bucket first, and you have enabled the versioning. So you uploaded file 1 and file 2. For that, versioning is there? Yes. Tell me yes or no. Right? Yes, versioning is there. So after that, I have suspended the versioning. Then I have upload file 3. So do we have versioning for file 3? So I uploaded file 3 for 10 times. Do create versioning files? No. But file 1 and file 2 has versioning? Yes. So if you delete file 3, can you restore it back? No, because the versioning is suspended. But if you delete file 1, can you restore it back? Yes, you can restore it, because that file 1 was uploaded when versioning was enabled. So after you suspend it also, the versioning files doesn't have any impact. Sheshadri, that one, that's for you. Okay, ma. So then what is the maximum object size? 5 terabyte. So in single put, how much you can upload? 5 GB. How much yours? 5 GB. Good. So, but if you need to upload the huge size, so after that, what is the concept that you use to break the files? MPU, multi-part upload. So if you want to upload the huge files, you break the files into chunks and then upload it. So can it done using the GUI or CLI? CLI only. And then we discuss about the storage classes, correct? So which is the default storage class? Standard frequently access. Okay, can you list down standard frequently access? Next, standard infrequently access. Next, reduce redundancy storage, one zone IA, intelligent tier, glacier, deep glacier. Very good, very good, very good. So, and we have discussed on each and every storage class, what is the purpose of it, when should we use it, correct? Guys, if I don't know what kind of patterns that I want to use it, so which storage class did you say? Intelligent tier. Very good. Nice. Which one is not recommended from AWS? Which one? RRS. RRS. Right? RRS. R should be rolling. Yes. RRS. So reduce redundancy storage. That is not recommended. And then is it possible to move the objects from one storage class to another storage class? Possible. So using what? Life cycle management. What is that, Nana? Life cycle management. So this is where we have, this is what we have discussed, and this is where we have stopped our topics. Let's continue on today's topic. Everyone clear till here? Online, any questions? Anything that I can repeat? Anything that you couldn't understood? CC? Okay. Nice. Okay. So as we are talking about LCM, what is LCM? Life cycle management. So this life cycle management, guys, in S3, everything is a feature. Everything is a feature. If you want, enable it. If you don't want, don't enable it. It's up to you. If you want to have life cycle managed to be enabled, if you want to create some rules, you can create the rules. So in life cycle management, what do you create? You create rules. What do you create? Rules. Life cycle rules. What we call life cycle rules. So let's say, for example, so this is a life cycle management. So let's take this as a life cycle management. Okay. In this life cycle management, what do we create, Nana? We create life cycle rule, LCM rule we'll create. What we create? LCM rule. Let's say, for example, this LCM rules can be created for your current versions and for also your previous versions. For also your previous versions. Okay, let's say, for example, I take like this. By default, all our objects will be in which storage class? Standard frequently access. Okay, let's say, for example, now you have uploaded few objects into S3. So which storage class it has? Standard frequently access. So after 30th day, let's say, it's up to you. What is the minimum duration? 30 days only, right? So minimum will take 30. So is it possible to move the objects at 29, 20, 25 days? No. How much minimum duration it should be? 30 days. So if you, let's say after 30 days or 40 days or 50 days, if you want to move, if you're not using at all, if you're not using the objects at all, can you move that object from standard frequently to infrequently? Can we move it? So if you move it, so we'll get lots of cost optimization there. No? You get lots of cost will get reduced there, because in standard frequently access you are paying some amount, whereas in infrequently access the amount is little bit less. So can you move the object from one storage class to another storage class? Okay. So now I want to move these objects from one storage class to standard frequently access to infrequently access exactly at 30th day. So will you keep alarm and create a note in your calendar to do this? No. What do? We create a life cycle rule. What we create? We create life cycle rule. So we create a life cycle rule saying that, Babu, from day 0, once you uploaded the object day 0, exactly at day 30th, move it to the infrequently. After day 30th, then exactly. So guys, if you want to move to Glacier, how many days? 90 days. How many? 90 days. But the object was there already 30 days. How many days left now? 60 days. So after 60 days, the object will be moved to Glacier. So you can move the objects from one storage class to another storage class automatically by creating the rule. So is it mandated to move to frequently access to infrequently to Glacier? No, it's up to you. But I'm just giving an example. From frequently access, you can move to infrequently. After that, you can move to one zone also, intelligent tier also. It's up to you. But I'm giving a scenario that here, all my data is in frequently access, correct? And then it will be moved to infrequently access. How many days after? 30th. From infrequently access, it will move to the Glacier. So Glacier need how many days? 90 days. But already 30 days were there, no? So it's 60 days. Yes or no? So guys, this is called transition. This is called transition. So it is transitioning from one storage class to another storage class. Okay, let's say, for example, now where is my objects? Finally, in Glacier. So after moving to the Glacier, maybe after 1 year, do I need to use the object? Let's say I have a requirement that I don't want to use the object at all. I don't want that object at all. So can I delete it? Yes. So do we need to delete it? No need. So this life cycle rule, we can create a rule saying that, okay, maybe after 365 days, you can delete it, correct? So delete after 365 days is mandatory. No, it's up to you. You can delete it. So this is called expiration. What is this called? Expiration. Okay, see here. 0th day, It is in frequently accessed. Okay, next. 30th day, it will be in infrequently accessed. After 90th day, it will be in the glacier. After 365 days, it will get deleted. So like this, you can create automated rules. You understood? So you might be having millions of objects. Guys, can you create the rules? Do you need to create these rules for the whole bucket, or you can create it for the subfolders? It's your wish. You can apply this rule for the entire bucket also, or you can apply this only for a subfolder. What is the subfolder called? Prefix. What is that called? Prefix. So guys, these rules you can update. These rules you can apply it for the subfolders also, or you can apply it for the whole bucket. If you apply it for the whole bucket, what will happen? It will apply for the all the objects. But if you want only to be not for the entire bucket, if you want to apply only for a particular folder, can you apply it? Yes, you can apply it. So you need to use the concept called prefix. They'll ask which prefix you want to apply this LCM rule. You understood this? So in LCM, we have two actions. What are those? Transition and expiration. What is that? Can you say that again? Transition and expire. So LCM is created on bucket level, correct? And applied on object level. So there are two actions. What are those? Transition and expiration. So you can set up S3 features for entire bucket or for a particular subfolder. Subfolder is nothing but prefix. Is it clear? You got this? So you can create these rules for every bucket. You can create these rules for every bucket. So in S3, we have so many features like this, small features. Okay, so that's the reason why we are talking about each and every feature here. Otherwise, S3, no need to go to this much deeper. So we just go and create bucket and then upload it. How do we do in Google Drive? Similarly, no. In Google Drive, we upload the file. That's it. Do we learn anything else? No. But in Google Drive, what are the options we have? Similarly, in S3, we are going and learning. Okay. So see, so here, small features. Let's say, for example, can you lock the object? Lock the object. Lock the object meaning what? You only tell me. If you lock the object, what will happen? That's it. So you cannot. Can you modify it? Can you delete it? Nothing. So you are locking the object. So there is a feature called object lock. Object lock. So you can lock it permanently or for certain period of time. Okay. So now assume that you have one bucket. Chiti, assume that you have a bucket. And that bucket name, let's say that bucket name is movies. That bucket name is movies. So I have so many movies inside this bucket. I have so many movies. Oh, what is it? Which movies? Telugu, Tamil, Tollywood, Bollywood, all these movies you have. So I have it. So now by seeing all these movies, so people are asking, sir, can you please give me that bucket details? I want to watch movies, right? So see here, but I have a bucket with movies. So I have so many movies inside it. And if I want to know who are all accessing this bucket, So if you want to get the information of who are all accessing, can we say these are all logs? Can we say logs? Yes. So you can apply, you can enable the logs on your bucket. So if you enable the logs on your bucket, who is accessing your bucket from there, from where they are accessing it, what they are accessing, everything you'll get to know in that logs. So can we go and enable the logs here? Yes, those logs are called server logs. What are those logs called? Server logs. Server access logs. What is this called? Server access log. Server, if you enable the server, see, simple enable, disable concept. If you enable it, logs will get automatically generated. So, okay, now you tell me, I have the bucket name called movies. Is it good to put the logs in the same bucket, or is it good to create a separate bucket for the logs? Which one do you prefer? Same bucket or separate bucket? Is it recommended to keep the logs in the same bucket, or it is recommended to keep a separate bucket for the logs? So it is good to, you can go either, because in the bucket name called movies, you have so many movies, no? Logs will be generating the same thing, you will get confused. So it is always better to create a separate bucket and maintain the logs. So if you click on enable server access logs, enable it, it'll ask, Babu, where do you store these logs? And select the separate bucket. Got it? So it is always recommended and good to have the logs in the separate bucket. So these are all the logs. So can I call it as movie access logs? Bucket name? Movie access logs. So if I go inside these logs, I'll get to know who is accessing what and all. Okay. So I'll write this. Who is accessing your bucket? You'll get to know. Server access logs are on bucket level. Yes or no? Guys, this one is who is accessing your bucket. We'll get to know that. Let's say, for example, but there is a movie name called latestly released. No, what is that movie? Jailer. Okay. So let's say, for example, there is an object called Jailer. Jailer.mpv4. Huh? Guys, there are two things here. I'm enabling the logs on the bucket level. That means who is accessing your bucket, you will get to know. But who is accessing your object, will you get to know that? No. So bucket level logs meaning those who are accessing the bucket only you will get to know. But if you want to know who is accessing the particular object, you can get to know. Generally, can you tell me? Let me ask this question. Which is a service in AWS where it will record each and everything you access it? Cloud? Which one? I'm getting two answers here. Cloud Trail. Which one? Cloud Trail. Very good. Fantastic, guys. So in Cloud Trail, each and every object level logging can be done there? Yes. So here, object level logs. Where can you find it? In Cloud Trail. So if you want to see the object level logs, or if you want to record, if you want to audit the object level loggings, so you can go for the Cloud Trail and see who is accessing it. Okay, so generally the logs, how does the logs contain, guys? Have you ever seen the log file? Have you seen the log file? No, huh? You haven't seen the log file yet? Babies? Okay. So log file meaning generally in our laptops also you'll have all the logs. Let's say for example, okay, let's say in your C drive, okay. Now, guys, tell me where, okay, let's say series. Okay, do you see this here? If I open this, do you see? This is the log file. So what is a log file generally? So any application you install, or any application, guys, that can be any application, your own application also, Microsoft related applications also, any, for that matter, any application, if you have it, if something is not working, If your application not working, and if you want to check some information on your application, where do you check? In the logs. If something is not working, remember, this is the fundamental rule in the real time. If something is not working, the first thing that you check it is logs. Which one? Logs. So in logs, what you will contain all the information. If something is not working on the application level, the errors will be loaded into the log file. Why it is not working? It clearly mentioned in the log. So any kind of errors you'll get logged, any kind of warnings it will add logs, any kind of information, any kind of debugs, everything will get recorded or logged into this log file. Okay. So if something is not working, Nana, which is the first thing that you need to check in your application? Logs you need to check. Okay. So these logs, do you see this here? You have a timestamp. Okay. And do you see ERR? ERR meaning error. INF meaning information. DBG meaning debug. So there are different types of logs: error logs, information logs, warning logs, debug logs. There are. So based on the developer, they will be enabling all these things to generate in the log file. So do you see this interface something SADP blah blah blah? Do you see this here? This is error called open CFG file failed. So you will get these logs by seeing. So generally your application will not work now. So many people will think that, oh my God, my application is not working. What should I do? Instead of crying, what you need to do? You need to go to the logs and see, oh, open CFG file is failed. So there is problem with the CFG file. That's how you identify the solutions. You understand? So this is the log file. So is it readable format completely? It's not that looks friendly, right? So everything is there any delimiters? No, continuous line, right? Okay, now you have only only few lines. You might be having hundreds, thousands of lines of log files will be there. Is it possible for you to go and find out and read all these logs? Not. So for this reason, guys, for this reason, let's say, for example, you have movie access logs. You might be having so many logs. So AWS has introduced one service called Athena. What is that? Not Antenna. Huh? Not Antenna. It is Athena. Call it out. What is that? Athena. What is that? Athena. Right? So what this is a service name. This is a complete another service from AWS. So this Athena is used to analyze the logs directly from S3 logs. So now we have the movie access logs now. So it is very hard to go and read all the logs. So what this Athena service will do is, so Athena service will create a table. What it will create? Table. Do you know SQL queries? Have you heard about it? SQL queries, right? What is SQL service? SQL service meaning, let's say, for example, you have the Excel sheet. Excel sheet, everyone knows. What does the Excel sheet contains? Rows and columns. Yes or no? So you have a big Excel sheet, so many rows and columns. Is it easy for you to go and fetch the data? You will go and reading it, right? Or you will be going and filtering it, or you'll be writing up some formulas inside it. But what if you have the data in database? Is it possible for you go and see the data there with your eyes? No. What you need to do? You need to retrieve. You need to query it. What you need to do? Query. To query the data, you need to write some queries. That queries we call SQL queries. What is the queries? SQL queries. So using that SQL queries, can you get your minute data also? At this time, particular column, particular data, starting with this, starting with that, can you retrieve it? You can retrieve it. Okay. So this Athena does that. If anyone knows how to write SQL queries, you can create a table from the logs. All the logs will be inside the table and you can retrieve the data, whatever you want. Okay. So this is a certification question. So analyze the logs directly from S3. What is the service name called? Athena. So let's say you have the log file like this. Yes, it is 192, 168, 168.10.20 colon 9 a.m. bucket colon. So 9 a.m. bucket colon puppy.jpg get command, and it is success 200, right? So like this, so you will have a log file which looks very nasty, correct? So what you can do is in Athena, you can create a table like this. So you can create a table and generate the columns based on the log file. What does the guys based on the log? Can you tell me what are the columns we can get based on the log? What is the first thing we have in the log? IP. Next. So can you say from which source, from where it is going, destination, right? And which object they are using, which method they are using, getta, putta, posta, and then success, whether you are getting success code or 404. So everything you can put it here, and then all the logs will get populated here, and then you can just write SQL queries and retrieve the data. So basically, instead of going with a huge log file, what you do, you create a table, push all the logs to the table and write the query. Simple. Clear, Nana? Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear? Okay. Online. Is it clear online, guys? CC? Yes, we should create the table. You can leverage that service and create the table. Usually developers will do that. Yeah. Okay. So the next concept we have is, so what is the purpose to create the table in this guy? That's what we have learned. Okay. See, I already told you. So do you understand what is the purpose of creating this table? What is the purpose? Yes. So you have a huge log file, no? So is it possible for you to go and read that log file one by one? And if your manager asks, hey, on that day, particular time, particular object, particular status code, I need. Will you go and read all one by one? You will get this 4, 5, 7 eyes specs you will get. Right? So what you need to do? Can you import all this log file into Athena? You can import all the log files in Athena. Athena contains what? Table format. And then how to retrieve the data from Athena? By writing SQL queries. Okay. So this is the purpose. No. We are talking about it. Yes. Okay. So guys, I want everyone to concentrate this. Very important. And this is related to developers, but still we learn it. Okay. So the concept is called CORS. What is this called? Cross origin resource sharing. Which one? Everyone say this, cross origin resource sharing. If I'm infra guy and don't know if I'm an infra guy and don't know how to write the query, how do we go about that? You have to learn. It's not a big, guys, SQL query, it's very easy. SQL query is very easy. So you don't need to write big, inner joins, outer joins, subqueries, outer queries, and then you don't need to write big one. To write this, just there is a syntax called select star from table. Select star meaning all the data. So if you want particular column, put the column, and you can put the where clause. Simple. So it's not a big deal. Okay, so we already have a developer, Monu Kumar, got triggered with this topic. Okay, so Monu Kumar also got this kind of issues. So guys, that's why I said, what is the concept called? CORS. What is CORS? Cross origin resource sharing. I want everyone to concentrate. See here carefully. And so can we create a bucket? Okay, assume that this is a bucket. I want everyone to answer this, guys. And this bucket name is, let's call it as CORS bucket 1. Which bucket? CORS bucket 1. So now inside this, can I put index.html? Can I upload index.html? Yes. And can I enable static website hosting? Yes. Okay, now inside this bucket, can I upload puppy.jpg? Yes or no? Now tell me, can I call puppy.jpg inside index.html? Yes or no? Yes. You have a file. So that's what I said. This is related to developer. No problem. Let's assume you have an HTML file. Can you call images from other places? Yes. All images can be stored in one place. You can call the images inside the file. Now, I open index.html like this. Can I open index.html? Yes. This one is browser only, no? This is browser. So now I open my application here. Okay. And whatever I have index.html data, I'll get it here. Yes or no? Yes or no? Whatever the data in index.html is there, let's say hey, remember we did it on EC2. What is there in index.html? We wrote some data, no? Hey, this is my first website like this. So let's say, hey, this is course demo. Can I write like this index.html? And also what I'm calling? What I'm calling in puppy.jpg. So can I see the puppy also here? Yes, the puppy image also I can see. Do you? Very dieting puppy. Okay, so you have this puppy. So do you understood? I just put in representative format. So what is the file name here? Index.html. So what does we have the index.html data is there. Hey, this is a course demo. And I'm calling puppy.jpg. As I'm calling from the same bucket, can I see the puppy here? Yes, I can see it. Yes, sir. This correct? Okay. So this works. Yes or no? This worked. Okay, this worked. Okay, now can I create one more bucket? I'm creating one more bucket, and that bucket I call it as course bucket 2. Which one? Course bucket 2. So now this time I'm putting puppy.jpg here. I have okay, let's not puppy.jpg. Dog. Oh, okay, give me some name. Apple, apple.jpg. Okay, now guys, can I call this apple.jpg in index.html? Yes, I can call it. But whenever you call it, can I see apple here? Yes or no? Can I see apple here? Can I see apple over here? Answer is no. So I have the object in. Okay. So what is the URL? Do you remember I told you how to write an URL? Tell me. HTTP. What is the URL of puppy.jpg? Tell me. Course bucket 1 dot S3 dot AP minus south minus 1 dot Amazon AWS.com/ puppy.jpg. This is the URL of puppy.jpg, no? What is apple.jpg URL? Similarly here, bucket 2, here, apple.jpg. Correct? Okay. Can I say this is the domain only, no? Okay. Can I say course bucket 1 is one origin and course bucket 2 is another origin? Can I say these are all origins? Yes, this is one origin. This is one origin. And this is another origin. There are same origin or different origins. So cars bucket one is this bucket. Whenever I upload any, guys, whenever I upload any object inside the same bucket and I call it, it works. But when I'm calling another object from another bucket, another origin, will it work? Did it work? It doesn't work. But now do you read that? The heading of today's topic? Cross origin resource sharing. Cross origin. So we have cars bucket one, cars bucket two. Those are two different origins. Are they sharing the resources? No. By default, are they sharing the resources? No. So now that's the reason why from cars bucket two, this apple.jpg is not working in cars bucket one. So what you need to do? We need to enable cars. What we need to enable? Cars. So now tell me, I need to enable the cars in bucket one or bucket two? From where? From where the object is not working, you need to enable the cars there. Where you need to enable? In bucket two. So cars is nothing but it's a small JSON script is there. Small, just few lines. So you need to put it. So you need to give permissions to whom? Which bucket? Bucket one. Which bucket you need to give? Bucket one. So cars bucket one, for bucket one, you need to give the sharing. Otherwise, can you put star? Yes, if you put star, what will happen? For everyone, you are sharing this apple.jpg. So wherever you are not able to get the images or any files, if you get any cards, you will get an cards error, right? So error will be like this. Cards policy is blocked. This kind of error, you will get it. So what the problem is, guys, the problem is, so the developers, when they open their website, few images it will work, few images it doesn't work. Few images which is working is then it is calling from the same bucket. Few images are not working, that is calling from the another different bucket. So if it is not working, what we need to enable there? We need to go and enable the cars. If you enable the cars and give the sharing to whichever the bucket you have, you can share it, and or else you can give star that can be shared to everyone. Then it start working. This is called cars. Clear? This is the most common issues that developers used to get. Exactly. Do you see this? Anil Kumar has put the right allow origin star. Yes, these are headers they put it. Is it clear on the chords, everyone? That's why I said I want you to concentrate. Okay. Again, Om Prakash and everyone, those who did not understood, quickly, guys, quickly. See here. Answer me, Om Prakash, especially you. So we create a first bucket. What is the bucket name? What is the bucket name? Chords bucket one. What is one? Chords bucket one. In chords bucket one, we are uploading which one? What file? Index.html. So, and also I'm uploading which one? Puppy.jpg. So can I call puppy.jpg in index.html? For as a code? Yes, I can call it. So when I enable static website hosting and I open index.html, I'll get the data of index.html here, as well as I'll get the puppy also, because puppy is in the same bucket. No problem. But if I don't want puppy here, but I want to call apple.jpg in index.html from the another bucket, which is course bucket 2. Will it work? Will not work, because cards is blocked. So where you need to enable cards? In the bucket 2, you need to enable it. So you need to enable in bucket 2 and give permissions to bucket 1. Then only the apple.apg will work inside your browser. Okay, Om Prakash. Oh, is it clear, Nana? Online, everyone? Non-IT and everyone? Okay. Now we have a concept called, yes, Utkarsh, correct. Now we have a concept called CRR. What is that? Cross region replication. Read it out. Cross region replication. And another one we call it as SRR. Same region replication. There is no RRR. Okay, triple R. Okay. CRR and then SRR. So can you see, can you read it, guys? Cross region replication. The name itself clearly says what is this related for? What is it related for? Read it again. What is it related for? You're reading the same. I asked you to read cross region replication. And what is this related to? Cross region replication. Okay, this is related to the replication, no? From one bucket to another bucket, you are replicating it. And that bucket's in the same region or different region. That's why we call it as cross region replication. If your two buckets are in the same region, you're replicating the data, then it is called same region replication. So simple. This is also one of the feature. So let's say I have the bucket here. Now, so I created the bucket in Mumbai, and here I have index.html. Okay. And I have another bucket here. Can I have this bucket in different region? Call it as Ireland region. So if I start uploading any data here, if I upload any data here, automatically it should get replicated to this bucket. Can we do that? Using the concept of CRR. So what does the CRR will do? Replication. What does it do? Replication. So whenever you upload, okay, let's say for this, guys, we haven't created any rule, no? What we need to create? We need to create a rule. Where you need to create a rule? In Mumbai bucket. So here I created a rule, CRR rule. While creating a rule, I'll say, hey, Babu, my source bucket is this and destination bucket is Ireland bucket. Replicate. So there are few properties, few parameters we need to enable. Create a rule, and then whatever you upload inside this bucket automatically will get replicated to here. And by the way, okay, let's say for example, here I have uploaded puppy.jpg. Okay. Now tell me which will get uploaded. Puppy.jpg will get replicated. Does it replicate index.html? No. Why? Why? Because the CRR rule got created after index.html. Correct? That meaning, guys, you can replicate the existing objects also. Let's say you have a bucket, Nana. Let's say you have a bucket. So there are 10 files are there. How many objects are there? 10 objects are there. Then you got a requirement to do the replication. Then you created the CRR rule in the bucket. Once you create the CRR rule, after that, whatever objects you upload, that will get replicated to the next bucket. Existing 10 objects will get replicated. No, because the rule is created after the 10 objects. After the 10 objects. But previously, it was not able to create it, but not able to replicate it. But now, AWS has introduced an option called, it will give a dialog box saying that, hey, you want to replicate the existing objects also? Question mark. Yes or no? If you put yes, automatically AWS will replicate it to that bucket. If you say no, existing objects will not be replicated. It's up to us. So guys, can I say those 10 objects is nothing but your bulkly batch copying to the other bucket? AWS is doing that is called batch operation. What is that called? Batch operation. Batch operation meaning bulk operations. Batch operation meaning bulk operation. And is this clear? It's very simple. If you want to replicate the objects from one bucket to another bucket in different regions, go with the CRR. Simple. Okay. But remember, guys, let's say, for example, sir, suppose I want to replicate our application website data. Hey, Anil Kumar. Guys, this S3 is for static or dynamic? It's for static. So can you put databases, websites, everything in your bucket? No, don't put it. Okay, it's only for static. And if you have static website, can you replicate the static website? That means all the objects to another bucket? Yes. Doesn't matter. If you have the backups, can you replicate to other bucket? Yes. Whatever the objects, you can replicate to another bucket. Let's say, for example, I have here, let's say, Ajay. For example, Ajay. So, Ajay is maintaining nice pictures, images, and movies in his bucket. Can I go to his account and create a simple CRR rule to my bucket? And guys, this CRR rules can be created across the account also. You understood? Not within the same account. Within the same account, you can create it. But you can do the replication for the other account also. So now I log into the Ajay's account and I create a simple CRR rule to copy everything. So whatever the objects that he is putting in the bucket, automatically will get replicated to my bucket. Can I do that? Yes. You can do that. Okay. CRR. So right with this certification, CRR buckets can be in the same account and also in different AWS accounts. So CRR can be done cross. CRR can be done cross accounts also. Okay. So now I have another bucket here, which is in Mumbai region. Guys, see here. Guys, see here. If I'm replicating Mumbai to Mumbai, what is that called? Simple. Yes, Sarah. By this CRR is enabled by default? No, CRR is not enabled by default. CRR is not enabled by default. And CRR is enabled on a bucket level. Guys, this CRR can be applied on the prefix level also? Yes. CRR, SRR can be rules can be created on bucket level or prefix level also. No. It's our requirement. If you want, replicate it. Otherwise, don't replicate it. There is question from Amol. Sir, is S3 bound to specific availability on EC2 instance? No. S3 is regional or global? Global. Do we have any availability zones for S3 buckets? No. But in the backend, all your data is storing in the data centers only, no, in the backend. So that's why in storage classes, we learn this. One zone IA, reduce redundancy. There you have the availability zone concept. But do you create the buckets in any availability zone? No, there is no concept at all on availability zone concept in S3. Only I took that concept in storage classes. That is completely in the backend. And by the way, guys, if you want to enable CRR, versioning is mandatory. Certification question. Versioning is mandatory to have SRR or CRR. Existing objects can also be replicated at the time of creating CRR rule with the help of bash operation. Small concepts, correct? And I already told you, S3 costs depend upon what? S3 costs depend upon the storage size, how much size that you are putting in the S3 bucket, and also the data transfer cost. So remember, that is one important thing. So S3 cost is depend on the size of the object and data transfer. Slowly, is this clear till here now, everyone? Online, is it clear till here? Any questions? Instead of saying objects are regional, call it as buckets are regional, Nandkishore. How about others? Everyone, those who are keeping quiet online, put CC, no? There is one letter before V. Press that 2 times in the keyboard. I haven't heard anything from Anchal, Ambati Krishnavamsi, Aryan, Ashwita, Satish, Kiran. I know you guys are listening, but it's good to have some message from you guys so that I remember your names. Okay. Thank you. Okay, nice. So, guys, I'm telling you again. Now I'm going with a little bit important topic. Everyone online, those who are lying on your stomach, sleeping and listening, get up, sit properly on your bed, right? Close the door. Stop chatting with your friend. Okay. So married people, ask your wife to go away for some time. So ask her to. Then Riyas are told, get lost. So I'm just joking here. Don't. Okay. So okay. So let's talk about encryptions. What is that? Encryption. Isn't it important? Encryption is related to the security. Encryption is related to how you know you have online AI as well? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Very important. So generally, why do we go for encryption? For security purpose. What is for security purpose? Nana, I'm not talking about related to S3. Now I'm just giving overall topic. See, encryption can be done in 2 ways. Meaningly, encryption can be done in 2 ways in entire AWS. So number 1, we call it as in-transit encryption. Which one? In-transit encryption. Number 2, we call it as data at rest. What is that? There are 2 things. What are those? In-transit encryption, data at rest. Tell me again. In-transit encryption. In-transit, tell properly. In-transit encryption and data at rest. Okay. So, what is the meaning of in-transit? What is general meaning of in-transit? You go to the airports, no? You see in-transit. Yes, in-transit meaning on the way. Right, on the way or while traveling on the way. When you book your stuff also, when you see yes, it says in transit, correct? So in transit meaning on the way. So in transit encryption meaning encryption on the way. Encryption will be done only on the data only, no? Everything we are talking about the data only. So you are encrypting the data on the way. So where do you go and encrypt this data on the way? So guys, in your browser, whatever you are accessing, it is entered through in transit only, on the way only, no? So how do you encrypt it on the browser? Using HTTPS. Remember? HTTPS. So that is called in transit encryption. What is it called? In-transit encryption. In-transit encryption can be done using HTTPS. Perfect certification question. Guys, in-transit encryption can be done using HTTPS, because HTTPS that means in transit only, no, data is on the way. While data is transferring, that is called in transit. Coming to data at rest, the name itself is says data at rest. That meaning it is in the place where it is not moving, it is in its constant place. For example, in our AWS, where the data is just sitting, volumes. Excellent. Which one? Volumes. Correct. So in EBS volumes. So remember when we are learning EBS, I told you there also about the encryption. Remember, if you select, you will get an encryption AWS slash EBS, right? And if it RDS, AWS slash RDS. If it is S3, AWS slash S3. So all these are all coming from where? Which is where do you go and create this encryption keys? Which service is that? KMS. Fantastic. Which one? KMS. So using KMS, you can encrypt this, correct? So data at rest, meaning while data is rest, you can going and encrypting on top of it. And how do you encrypt it in AWS? Using KMS. And also tell me this, in transit meaning data while moving. And how do you encrypt it? Using HTTPS. How do you generate in which service you generate HTTPS in AWS? There also where there is a service. Tell properly. Which one? Which one? ACM. Which one? ACM. Amazon Certificate Manager. Remember? So where do you create all these HTTPS certificates? In ACM. So in transit, ACM. Data at rest, KMS. In transit, ACM. Data at rest, KMS. Is it clear, guys? Okay. Yeah. I'll write. Encryption can be done in two ways. So what are those, Nana? In transit encryption. In transit encryption. Okay. So what is in transit encryption? Encryption while data is moving. How do you do it? Moving or transferring? How do you do it? Using HTTP? Yes. And next one here is data at rest. Data at rest encryption. Encryption while data is at rest. How do it? Using KMS. So remember Amazon Certificate Manager, which is that ACM, is where you generate HTTPS certificates. It's called in transit. And another one, key management service, right? Is where you can create encryption keys for data at rest. Okay. Okay, is it clear till here? So encryption can be done. Hold on. So encryption can be done in two ways. What are those? In transit and data at rest. So now let's talk about S3. So in S3 also, we should do the encryption. No. So every service in AWS, we need to do the encryption if you want to secure it. Okay. So in S3 also, we do the encryption. So Amazon S3 has three types of encryptions. In S3, how many types of encryptions are there? Three types. Number one, server-side encryption. Okay. And then client-side encryption and in-transit encryption. How many types now? Three types. What are those? Server-side encryption, client-side encryption, in-transit encryption. And in-transit encryption, we saw how do we do it using HTTPS. Client-side encryption meaning, guys, client-side meaning, if you are connecting from your on-premises to AWS, that tunnel, that connection should be secure, yes or no? So who should be taking care of that? Customer or AWS? Customer. So client-side encryption meaning should be handled by customer. So now let's talk about the important thing here, server-side encryption, which is commonly used in S3. So basically there are three types here. SSC meaning server-side encryption. What is the full form of SSC? Server-side. So SSC S3, SSC KMS, SSC C. There are three types. What are those, Anna? SSC S3, SSC KMS, SSC C. Again, so in S3 we have three types of encryption. What are those? Server-side encryption, client-side encryption, in-transit encryption. So which we need to worry more about server-side encryption. In server-side encryption, again, we have three types. What are those? SSC S3, SSC KMS, SSC C. So SSC S3 is the most common key that we use. Remember, in EBS, what is the encryption key that we used? AWS/EBS. In S3, that is the default key. Which one? That is the default key. That is nothing but SSC S3. So which is commonly used? So that is AWS managed key, no? AWS managed key. Let's say, for example, if you don't want AWS managed key and if you want to have your own key, which is where you go and create the keys? KMS. So here AWS KMS key. And here is customer provided key. Okay. So these are the three types of keys. Okay. SSC S3, which is the most common used one inside this SSC S3. So SSC S3 is completely managed by AWS. But if you want to create your own encryption keys, where do you create? In KMS. That is the second one. SSC KMS. And there are few keys which a customer will come and say, hey, customer will say, hey, Babu, customer, can I use default key, which is SSC S3? Customer say, no. Okay, I'll create the one keys in KMS. No. Then I'll provide the keys for you, use it. So that is SSC C, which is customer provided key. And also, as we are talking about encryption, it uses one algorithm, guys, which is called AES 256, Pakka certification question. Advanced Encryption Standard. What is the full form of AES? Advanced Encryption Standard. And remember, by default, encryption is enabled on the bucket. Guys, on the bucket by default, encryption is enabled? Yes. By default, encryption is enabled on the bucket. Yes, that's a version. Bit is a bit. Yes. Thank you, Utkarsh. Yeah. And is this clear? Is it clear? So by default, encryption is enabled on your bucket. Answer is yes. Okay, now actually this topic is not required, but I saw sometimes the certification question in this topic, which I'm going to talk about it. And the topic is just for remember purpose. There is no law, there is no what you call subject on it. Okay, now I'll tell you. So that topic is here, S3 data consistency model. What is that? Data consistency model. Basically, there are two types of model. I'll tell you. I'll make you tell from yourself only. See here. This is a bucket. This is the bucket. So now, this is the bucket. Okay. Guys, tell me, first we will write a reader. First we will write. After that, what we do? Read. Can I say read after write? Listen this. Read after write. Listen carefully. Read after write. Correct or not? Then you said no. Right? So that's what. It's a normal thing only. But AWS has put a certification question on this. So generally what we do first, we write and then read. So, but the data consistency model here, he says that read after write. Both are same only, but the names are confused. So here, first what we do, okay, let's say there is a file called index.html. First I write and then I'll read it. Okay, good. So immediately can I read it? Yes. Once you write it, immediately we can read it. That is called read after write consistency. Read after writes. Okay, now I am uploading. Uploading is nothing but can I call it as put in the API method, API in the API language, right? Yeah, application programming. So in API language, can I call it as put? Put is nothing but upload. So can I say I am putting a new object? I'm putting a new object. Index.html is new object or not? So I'm putting the new object. In other words, uploading a new object. Generally, we learn uploading a new object. Instead of that, can I call it a puts of new object? Yes. So the consistency, the model is like this. Read after write consistency for puts of new objects. You need to remember this. It is the same thing only, but little bit different. Can you read that again? Read after write consistency for puts of new objects. Okay, now let's say, for example, it has ABC in the index.html, and I modified this to df. Generally, you see this sometimes. Guys, there is one file. There is a data called ABC. I modified it and put it as df. And when you open that file, sometimes very rare you see still ABC only. Yes or no? Sometimes you see ABC only. If you refresh it, array, why I'm getting the old data? If I refresh it, you will get the new data. Correct or not? So that is another consistency here. We call it as eventually. That meaning slowly it will update. Eventually consistency of I'm overwriting, no? ABC, I'm overwriting to DF. What is that called? Overwrite only, no? I'm changing from ABC to DF. So I'm saying here overwrites of puts, or also sometimes when you delete the object and you try to access that object, you will able to see the object still. Array, I deleted the object, but why I'm seeing it? If you refresh it, the object is gone. So that fraction of second time is there, no? So that is the consistency model. So that is another consistency model. I call it as eventually consistency for overrides of puts and deletes. That meaning whenever you modify, okay, in our language, should I tell you? Whenever you modify any file, immediately will not get affected. If you refresh it, you will get the old data. But if you refresh after some time, you will get the new data. That meaning eventually it is updating it. And once if you delete the object, sometimes you still see the object. Is that good? No, if you refresh it, it's gone. That is why nothing but eventually consistency for overwrites of puts or deletes. Oh, your overwriting of puts meaning upload. No, whenever you are changing the data inside the existing file, that is called overwriting of puts. Or if you delete also, it'll come. So basically, please remember this. It might you get a certification question on this. Got it? Can you read this for me 2 times? I mean, two lines. Read it. Right. So this puts new objects, overwrites, puts or deletes. So this is important because in certification question, they will change this puts to deletes, new objects to old objects, overwrites, append. So they will change the wordings. So please register that in your brains. Okay. Both are same, Seshadri, but AWS put as the first one. Okay. So guys, here, see here, I have this bucket. I have a bucket. Tell me one movie name which is not released and waiting for release. Eh? Kushi, yeah? Kushi, Pawan Kalyan's Kushi. Okay. Okay. So here, Kushi. So let's say for Kushi, okay. So now let's say assume I have Kushi movie with me. Horror no in talent. So that is your on meme on me, huh? Okay. So assume that I have a Kushi movie. Okay. So now I have a bucket called some bucket. Inside that I put a Kushi movie. So everyone will be interested to watch that, correct? Okay. Now what I do is, can I give permissions to everyone to my bucket to watch it? No. So I want to give a, what is that first day show? What is that called? Benefit show. Okay. So benefit show I want to give only for my students. That is only offline people. Okay. So online people started shouting there. Okay. Are Babu, I am not a director of Kushi. Okay. Don't take it serious. Okay. So, okay. So now, if I want to give this access to everyone, that means I need to give access to the entire bucket. Yes or no? Instead of that, what I do is, I'll generate a temporary URL to that particular object. What I do, I create a temporary URL. That is called pre-signed URL. What is that called? Pre-signed URL. So this pre-signed URL, what does it, guys, I told you, every object will have an endpoint. Object URL will be there, right? So object URL. So guys, when I go and create a pre-signed URL, it will generate a temporary URL. Right? Temporary URL. It is, what is that? Yeah? Temporary URL. So it generated a temporary URL. Here also I can set this URL will expire next 10 minutes. So my URL is valid for how many minutes? Only 10 minutes. So now I generate that URL, temporary URL, and I'll give it to all to you guys. Right? And then that URL is valid only for. So by the time the movie comes up, and by the time the names and all the comes up, and then the URL is expired. So guys, you cannot download. You can only watch online. Okay, got it, guys. So not only this movie. So let's say, for example, any image or any object, I want to give access to others for temporary purpose for few minutes, and you need to set the minutes. Then you go for pre-signed URL. Can I go and set it for 1 hour also? Yes, this image or this object is valid only for 1 hour, and automatically after that it will expire. So that is called what? Pre-signed URL. Very important. Endpoint is valid or is valid only for 10 minutes. After that, it will expire automatically. So can I say this for temporary purpose? Yes. Okay. Clear, Nana? Okay. So there, as I said, there are very small things we have. There is something called transfer acceleration. What is that? Transfer acceleration. Let's say, for example, can you tell me a few region names? Ireland, North Virginia. Hmm? No, not India. Sydney. Paris. Tokyo. Okay, so where are we? We are in Hyderabad. So now, guys, can we go and upload our objects to Ireland region? Yes or no? Yes. If you are uploading it to Ireland region, it takes what? Our normal internet? Our normal internet? Yes. Let's assume it is taking 10 minutes to upload the object. How much time? 10 minutes. Guys, if you want to accelerate the transfer, what is the meaning of accelerate? Accelerate the speed. Transfer meaning speed. If you want to accelerate meaning speed. If you want to speed up the transfer, so you can use the concept called transfer acceleration. So using transfer acceleration, guys, you can speed up your transfer. You know who is the reason behind the transfer acceleration? We have CDN. Remember CDN? Content Delivery Network. So it uses AWS internal network, no? It is AWS internal network. Using AWS internal network, you can transfer from same place to Ireland quickly or fastly. So this is not free. This is billable. Okay, like this, AWS will help you to accelerate your transfer using this feature. If at all you want to speed up your transfer, right? What is the full form of ACL? Access Control List. So by default, your buckets are public or private? By default, it is private. So can you give access to others for your bucket? Yes, you can give. Using how? Using ACLs, Access Control List. So you can control the permissions using ACLs. ACLs. Okay, Nana. So I took almost 7 minutes extra. There is 2 topics left. No problem. I'll take it. Tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow is holiday, correct? No problem. I'll take it a day after tomorrow. Okay. A very small topic, similarly like this. Okay. Is it related to global accelerator in any way? No, Nandini, no. Okay, so I'll stop it here. Please take the screenshots. Let me know once done. Guys, let me know once done. AS256 is just an algorithm used for the encryption. Simple, Seshadri. It's an algorithm that AWS S3 is using. The screenshot is done. And the second one. No blowfish. On it supports AES 256. So guys, did you completed all your practicals? Okay. Next. So there are no. Thank you, Seshadri. And the last one. Sir, మిమ్మల్ని కలవాలి sir, please. Sure, Seshadri. I'm here. We have so many offline students always interact with me daily. So please. Second one. Good. So you come. Thank you. All right. So guys, can you give me the final CC for today? CC with smile. Please give me a number. Just imagine if I share my number every minute, every 5 minutes, it'll ring. Great. So that is all, guys, for today. And I'll see you on Wednesday, right? On this S3 practicals mostly, right? And I have 2 topics. We'll talk on the 2 topics first, and then we'll go for the practicals. Until then, take care. Bye-bye. Have a nice day, and see you on Wednesday. And everyone, advance, I wish you a very happy Independence and Independence Day. Then he'll say, Atlantad Mantania. Good. Offline people are saying a Republic Day, huh? Intelligent fellow. Okay, good. All right. So, guys, jokes apart, and we really salute for our real heroes, for those who fought for our freedom, and we should definitely remember those people and salute them, and especially the freedom fighters, and also the army that who always keep us safe, our soldiers, right? And on this note, I wish you a very happy Independence Day, and see you on Wednesday, guys. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.